When the client is done taking her medication, you can take the bottle back. Ensure it goes into the correct bag. Again, you don't want to mix up any client's medications. You want to keep them separate from the other clients, so make sure to clean up between clients and put this away in the client's cubby. You also have the option of throwing the med cup away, or if the client prefers, you can write their name on it. Put it on the bag for them to reuse. Make sure that you do not touch the medications. It's okay if the client touches their medications, but this is just a matter of hygiene. You don't want to contaminate their medications, and nor do you want to be contaminated by their medications. If it is a liquid medication, you want to make sure that, I'll use this as an example. If it's a liquid medication, we don't get many of them, but do know that when the client pours the medication, instruct them to pour it on the opposite side of the label so it doesn't dirty the label and it won't be illegible. And also, if there's any kind of mess, be sure to clean it up and clean up the area where the medications were taken.
That can be edited out.
Yeah. Another couple points about controlled medication. So the Ambien as a controlled medication, at the end of your shift, you will be going over the controlled medication count with the incoming shift. And we have a book for that called The Controlled Medication Count. And inside the book, each bottle of medication will have a page that references it. I also want to take this opportunity to show you that sometimes medications are listed by different names, but they're both correct. So this is the generic name for Ambien, and on here you can see it's written as Ambien. Often the pharmacies will dispense the generic medication because it's cheaper for the client and for the insurance company. So if you have any confusion about that, definitely ask any staff and also look it up. And often on the label it will say the trade name and the generic name. So you can reference it right on the label of the medication bottle. And often the nursing staff will write both the generic name and also the trade name on there, the brand name. So at the end of your shift, when you're trading off the keys, and this is an important point too, when you're in charge of the medication keys, take this very, very seriously, because the worst case scenario is that a client who is suicidal or wants to hurt themselves, you want to make sure that they don't have access to the medications, or actually you don't want any of the clients to have access to the medications. And during your shift, when you have the keys on hand, you're the one responsible for the medications and also for the count of the controlled medications. So don't go to the dinner table and set down your keys, because it's likely you're going to forget it because you'll get distracted. Just be sure to keep your keys on you. All the keys have a strap on it. You can wear it around your neck. You can strap it into your pocket, but make sure that you don't put them down where clients have access to those keys. And so at shift change, you'll refer to each controlled medication that we have on hand with the client's name. Make sure that it's the correct bottle too when you're counting it. So it's not unusual for a client to have bottles of different strengths. So for instance, she might have this in a higher strength in a different bottle. You want to make sure that you're counting the correct bottle. If there's any question about that, you can refer to the prescription number on here and also on the label. And we actually have trays that we use for counting the medication, and we can demonstrate that. So you'll count the medication with the person who's coming into your shift when you're leaving, and you'll write down the time that you're leaving. Often the nurses will do that in military time. You can do it either way. And at the beginning of the shift, you had 13. You had given 1 to your client. When you count it, there should be 12. You'll sign your name, and the incoming nurse or CA will sign their name afterwards, confirming that there are indeed 12 Ambien in that particular bottle. Again, this is a legal document, so you want to observe that there are actually the number that is stated on the sheet in the bottle.